Welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman, the podcast dedicated to helping you build the business of your dreams and live the life you always hoped for, with valuable and fun tips and info to make your life easier and more fun. And now, here's your host, a man who sprinkles metal shavings on his breakfast cereal just for fun, Jason Silverman.
Hey everybody, and welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. I'm your host, Jason Silverman, and I'm thrilled to share some time with you once again today. As you know, I'm always on the hunt for interesting as well as super smart real deal guests, and I got to tell you, today's show is a winner. I want to introduce my listeners to somebody who's truly been there and done that, and I'm excited to pick his brain for your benefit and, quite honestly, for my benefit as well. So, for the folks who I work with in any of my coaching programs or through Powerful Words Character Development, All-Star Cheer Sites, or the Jason's Army Mastermind Group, you know how much I focus on sharing business success secrets, right? Well, the show is going to help us to do just that. So, today it's going to be my honor and privilege to share an amazing resource with you. You're going to love today's guest. He's got a ton of valuable information about what I consider to be a super hot and really game-changing topic. So strap yourself in. Today's show is going to be a blast. As I'm sure you already know, I'm committed to helping business owners just like you to become more successful, enjoy your career more, and in general, make your life significantly more fun. You know, folks, we only get one ride around this merry-go-round, and we want to make sure it's one hell of a ride. Alrighty, it is now that time. I want you to stop surfing Facebook, put away your dog, your cat, your phone, your tablet, your spouse, your child, anything that might possibly distract you from today's show. You're about to get some great and immediately implementable information, and I don't want you to miss even a second of it. So, before we officially get going, let me give you a little bit of background about our special guest expert today. Andy Crestodina is a co-founder and the strategic director of Orbit Media, an award-winning 38-person web design company in Chicago. Over the past 15 years, Andy's provided web strategy and advice to more than 1,000 businesses. As a top-rated speaker at national conferences and as a writer for many of the biggest blogs, Andy's dedicated himself to the teaching of marketing. Andy's written hundreds of articles, many of which have been published on the top marketing blogs and media websites. Favorite topics include current strategy, SEO or search engine optimization, social media, and analytics. He's been in Forbes' Top 10 Online Marketing Experts to Watch in 2015, Entrepreneur Magazine's Top 50 Marketing Influencer in 2016, mentor at 1871, the #1 incubator in the U.S., adjunct professor of digital marketing at Loyola University, and he's also the author of Content Chemistry, the illustrated handbook for content marketing. Andy, welcome to The Real Deal. I'm thrilled to have you today.
I am glad to be here.
Well, this is going to be a blast. So listen, before we officially get started, for those who haven't had the opportunity and pleasure of meeting you or hearing you speak or reading your book, take a second if you would. You know, what are you passionate about? What makes you tick? Who is Andy Crestodina?
Yeah, I love how you start with this. I love teaching. So opportunities like this are just great for me. I just love to share useful stuff and know that people got value from it when they went and tried some of the things that we talk about, that we will talk about today. And it's all about content. It's all about marketing. It's all about driving growth through the publishing and promoting of useful stuff. So this business here was grown to the point we're now at $5 million in revenue, and that is completely based on an inbound strategy of content marketing. And so it's just really fun. It's amazing. It's beautiful to watch the light behind people's eyes when they realize that they can do this too.
Ooh. Well, I think it's so important, and I can't wait for that light bulb to go over somebody's head while they're listening today. So I want to dig in because there's a bunch of stuff I want to personally ask you. So, you know, you've been doing web and digital design for a long time. So why that? Why not something else? Why not build a product or go work and do something?
I wonder myself. You know what? Most people got out of this business because the timing. I mean, we started in 2000. We definitely could have started a product, could have promoted another service, or so. If you're a service provider of any stripe, you really just have to love people. And like I said, I'm a teacher, and I really like working with people. And I grew up working in restaurants, and so this kind of aligns well from the service side. And also, the field itself is super interesting because it's all about the overlap between the creative stuff and the technical stuff. So it's all art plus science. It's all left-brained and right-brained. You've got to be like a center-brained person to really do well in this field, right? You gotta like the measurement side and the inspiration and creative side, and then you gotta like the people side. So it just works really well for me because I get to help people by using both halves of my brain.
Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. So tell me this, as far as like owner to owner, what was the tipping point for you in your business?
Well, we started out as this outsourced partner to advertising agencies that couldn't do their own programming. So we knew how to build stuff, and this was like, Flash, like early days, like Macromedia Flash, like old production tools, making animation and interactivity using the stuff that people don't use much anymore. But so the first tipping point was when we figured out that we could attract our own clients, and we didn't just have to be the behind-the-scenes team for advertising agencies. So we started to figure out search, started to figure out analytics, started to figure out more of our own digital presence and how to attract that audience to us, how to generate a little demand. And there was a day I woke up and realized, wow, maybe I can control my own destiny here a bit more. Maybe I'm not going to be forever beholden to these other companies that are keeping me one step away from the people that I'm really trying to help.
That's fabulous. Fabulous. I want to dig into the website stuff for a second because I think I see so many folks making such horrific mistakes. So in your experience, what are some of the most common mistakes people are making right now on their sites?
Oh, there's a long list. I actually made a video once, like 15 things to remove from your website. Here's a couple of highlights. If you have big, colorful social media icons at the top of every one of your pages, you're really just inviting your visitors to leave. You're telling them to go farther away from your lead generation form, farther away from that contact point where they reach out to ask for help. So I don't recommend having big candy-colored exit signs at the top of your website that send people to a social network like Facebook or YouTube. They're just not likely to come back. There's too many distractions and competitors and advertisements and, cat videos. Another common mistake that people make is they basically just forget the marketing 101 kinds of things when they write their content, when they make their pages. So ask yourself this question. Go to any one of the pages on your website, like the sales pages, the pages designed to build trust and get people to become a lead. Look at that page and ask yourself, how many marketing claims did you make that were not supported by evidence? Did you add testimonials? Did you explain, years in business? Did you build your case? Did you let the audience tell the story for you? Or do you have certifications? Do you have awards? Do you have anything that strengthens your case? The basic idea here, never make a marketing claim without supporting it with evidence. That's a very common mistake.
That's huge.
It's huge. Why would people believe you? If all you're saying is, I'm number one, you're basically saying what anyone can say. It's only when you add that voice of your audience with a testimonial, and I don't think there's an upper threshold. I don't know if there is a number of testimonials that's too many. I actually have a theory, and Jason, we're already jumping into the kind of ninja digital marketing stuff that even I haven't tried yet, but I have a theory that maybe the right ratio of marketing claims to evidence, don't just have one testimonial on every page, which would be good, right? It's better than having a testimonials page separately, which people are not likely to visit. It's get those out of your testimonials page, get rid of your testimonials page, put a testimonial on every page. But maybe one isn't enough. Maybe it should be 50-50 marketing claims to evidence. Or maybe it should be 30-70. Maybe most of our pages should be our audience saying wonderful, happy, trust-building things about us.
I think that's brilliant. I think it's brilliant on every level, actually. So,
yeah. Because
again, what you say about your business, you're supposed to say because you're the one who owns the account that the money's going into.
Totally expected. Every happy thing you say about yourself is really obvious when you think about it, right? Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So obviously, one of the things that you speak on at great length is content, right? So clearly, content is critical, but for folks out there who are new to the whole content marketing world, how are they supposed to choose topics? Like, how do they know where to start?
Yeah. Well, there is a secret shortcut to people that are new to this and people who have very small audiences or a brand new business even. there are things, if you've done sales for even one prospect, if you talk to people on the phone, if you have any sense for what people care about and what people need to know before they'll buy or before they'll become a lead, then you have the opportunity to create content specifically for someone in your funnel, someone who's already a prospect, someone who is already edged a little closer to becoming a customer. So the first topics that you can create are the topics that answer the questions that people ask you every day. The topics that answer the questions that people need to have answered before they'll trust you enough, such as, for your audience, it might be things about safety or, how far away is this, or what are the rates, and, what have you done this before, and tell me about your background. All of those things, basically, if you create that stuff and put it on your site, you're creating what's called zero waste marketing, because that's the kind of stuff that you could literally just email the page to a prospect and you put it in front of the most important audience. Totally. Once you've got that covered, get that in there. And then after that, there is an endless well of things that your audience and that someone is out there is looking for. And every listener to this show is an expert on many topics, but it's not that useful to have those things locked away in your brain. The company and the brand and the individual that is the best at taking useful stuff out of their brain and putting it on web pages is the brand that will win the most attention and love and demand, because content marketing is ultimately just a test of generosity. I mean, who was the best at giving away all of their best advice? That's the company that will be the leader in their industry, 3 and 5 years from now.
Totally makes sense. So if you were advising call it a cheer gym, on where to start, I mean, would they start with video? Would they start with blogging? Would they start what media would you choose, or where did you direct them to choose? Yeah, that's a great question. So there are two challenges in digital. One is to attract the visitor, traffic. The other is to get the visitor to take action. That's conversions. So they convert from a visitor into a lead, or maybe a visitor into a newsletter subscriber. So the text on your pages is going to help you get traffic, because Google needs to read the stuff there, right? It can't understand what's inside videos or inside images. So definitely describe what you do in very clear, plain English terms on your homepage and on your services pages, right? You can actually make a page for each of the different services or each of the different types of athletics, or, different levels, or anything that someone's searching for. You can make a page on that topic. Google does not rank websites. They rank web pages, and there's no limit to the number of pages you can make. Build out a mini catalog of all of the things that you do. That's going to be a good thing for your traffic, as long as you write long, detailed explanations answering all the questions on those pages of text. Now, for video, super powerful. It's not going to affect your traffic, but it will affect your conversion rates. Video is the opposite, right? Text is actually quite weak at being convincing to people, but it's strong at attracting an audience because it's how you rank. Video is very weak at attracting an audience because it doesn't help you rank for anything, but it's very strong at convincing people, at converting people. So on your homepage and or about page, make a short video that tells your story, your passion story, what problems you solve, why you're in this business, what you really care about, what you believe, what you don't believe, what you're for, what you're against, right? Show your space, get the kids on there, right? You want to see smiling faces so the visitor can empathize and imagine what it's like for their family to be involved in these programs. So it's really, video is very, very powerful, but the proper way to use it is as a trust builder. Don't expect it to increase traffic. And it's not about production value either. So take out your phone if you can. Pay attention to lighting, pay attention to the microphone, but get a nice video on each of your pages and watch what that does to your lead generation efforts. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. All right. So a little bit of forward pacing, if you would. Seeing as how you've played this game for a while, what do you see happening next in this business?
Well, the digital giants are going to get bigger, and so there'll probably be some convergence in social media and in marketing technology. Google and Facebook and Amazon will get more powerful. Big picture trends, right? If you want to buy traffic, it's going to get easier because the ad networks like Google and Facebook are going to get better at the services that let you put your message in front of those audiences. So pay-per-click on AdWords, or AdWords on Google, and display ads or social ads on Facebook. Now, when you do these things, it's pay to play, but you don't necessarily need a big budget. I actually don't do any advertising myself, but I want to explain just briefly. For young brands or for competitive industries, this might make sense to throw $100 or a couple $100 a month at this. What you're going to find is on Facebook and social media in general, you can target people based on who they are, but you don't really know what they're thinking. In Google, you can target people based on what they're thinking, but you don't really know who they are. So the calls to action and the types of marketing that you do in each of these channels will depend on how you're trying to reach people. You know, if it's very seasonal stuff, you might go toward Google for that. If you're trying to reach a very specific potential visitor, you can really drill down to insanely tight demographics in Facebook. But that's a big thing in the future, and a lot of people are going to be doing that. So keep your eye out for more of a lockdown on those audiences, except for people who are willing to get out their wallet a little bit at least. That's one of the mega trends in digital.
That's huge. That's absolutely ginormous, actually. Wow, fabulous. All right, it's time for our resource of the week. So tell me this: where can my listeners find out more about you, and really how you've gone about helping entrepreneurs to succeed?
Well, the blog is at orbitmedia. Let me try that again. The blog is at orbitmedia.com and /blog. You'd find it there. There's tons of stuff there, and we publish every other week. If you want to get on the newsletter, it's not going to blow up your inbox. But blogs by nature, they're kind of just a pile of stuff. The book might be a little bit easier. Content Chemistry is the name of the book. It's definitely a more organized approach to tackling each of these tactics. And you can find that anywhere you find books.
Fabulous. Content Chemistry. Love it. All right. So I always like to end my podcast with what I consider to be a really telling question. So if you could give business owners just one solid piece of advice to either help them grow their business or, more importantly, help them live a better, more balanced life, what would that piece of advice be?
Boy, I'm working on this one myself, and I think this might be a killer tactic for anybody. Anything that you do repeatedly and that could be delegated, the next time you do it, write the step-by-step instructions for exactly how you do it. Now you're going to slowly build up a training manual for your business or for specific job roles, and you are going to have a much, much easier time that day when you get the breaking point and you're ready to delegate, you're ready to hire. The job description has been forming in front of you this whole time. Document your processes and then look to outsource and delegate anything you can. Virtual assistants for email and whatever it is. Like, don't be a control freak. Just hand it all off. Make little videos that show how you do each of these things. That's going to free up a lot of your time, and it's going to let you really build the business, focus on the business. I think that might be the trick, Jason. I think that might be the real fulcrum-moving leverage point that a lot of us can focus on in 2017.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Andy, thank you so much for joining me today. I know how busy you are, so it means the world that you'd share some of your time and a whole bunch of brilliant stuff with us. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Alrighty, folks, that is all the time we've got today. Thanks so much for tuning into The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. For more info about private coaching or see if you'd benefit from one of my mastermind groups, visit me over at www.jasonmsilverman.com. I look forward to helping you achieve the success that you truly deserve. Until next time, let me leave you with this. Get out there and be the real deal. Set a goal, make a plan, work like hell towards it, and achieve the success that's waiting for you. Now's the time. Get out there and make it happen. Go get 'em. This has been Jason Silverman, and I hope you have a spectacular week.
You've been listening to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. To access the great resources mentioned in the show and for information on coaching and mastermind group opportunities with Jason, please visit jasonmsilverman.com.